Hi there, my name is Toby, and today I want to talk about this mysterious energy, etheric energy. What is it? And you might also call this orgone, Wilhelm Reich's orgone, or it's the chi, or the life force, the prana, a mysterious energy. What is this energy, this force? So in order for me to explain this to you, I've got to give you a quick overview of the way I see the universe. It's a very different model, but it's very powerful. A very powerful, simple model. Even a child can understand this. But it's modern science is missing a lot. It's missing the entire metaphysical side. And we must include metaphysics if we want to talk about the universe in its totality. Because there is a thing called consciousness. There is a soul, there is a spirit, something mysterious, non-physical, metaphysical. We have to acknowledge that, and we have to build the model including that. So I've got a very simple model, but like I said, it's very powerful, and I do believe we will be able to also explain all physical phenomena with this model. So it will integrate with science, but it will also allow for more different science. It will inspire new experiments and new technology because it's a different idea about how the universe actually works. So in order to understand this, we've got to start by saying this. Okay, the underlying field or the universe in its totality is consciousness, spirit. Everything is spirit. And we can call this ether, or rather let's call this the ether. The ether. It's the ultimate. And this is pure consciousness, metaphysical. You cannot physically detect this in any way, shape or form. It's non-physical. But it is from this the entire universe manifests. But it's not creation. It's always there. It's first in terms of priority, not in terms of timing. So you can think of this field of consciousness as unity, the infinite or the infinitesimal. You can think of it as God if you like, but it's an abstract God. It's totally abstract, non-dimensional. And this beginning, it divides, it splits into two. It becomes yin and yang. Now you've got the Tai Chi symbol. So in the Taoist philosophy, it's called the Wu Qi. The Wu Qi is the original void, emptiness, but it's pregnant, filled with potential energy. And this divides into yin and yang. So now the universe has become two things, yin and yang. And the third thing is yin and yang now interact. They mix, they combine, and they create all other different effects. They create the 5 elements, which are 5 different combinations of this yin and yang. They're 5 different interactions or movements between the yin and the yang. And we call them 5 elements, and they manifest in all different ways. Now, you can also look at this in terms of the fundamental particle, because this infinitesimal, infinite void, the ether, consciousness, it also creates physical reality. It will also create electromagnetism. So when this inertia, the ether divides into yin and yang, it divides into electrostatics and magnetism. Electrostatics is like this expansion of energy. Magnetism is the contraction of energy. So energy will appear from a point and then disappear back to a point. So we could say that the universe really is divided into 3 levels, 3 worlds, if you like. And again, ancient traditions talk about this, religions talk about this, all esoteric sort of knowledge talks about this, 3 worlds or different levels to the universe. So we've got one level, which is the pure spirit, consciousness itself, the field of consciousness. That's not physical. Then you've got another level, which is this physical world, material world. So that is objective. We all share this experience of the physical world. It must follow particular rules of mathematics. In particular, the golden ratio, the mathematics of growth. It must follow those rules, the laws of physics, in order for it to be objective. So that's the second world. But now, so we got yin and yang, but now there's a third world where these two worlds interact. You have pure consciousness and you have material substance, matter. And these two things interact, and this gives you the third world, the world of energy, the etheric energy, and of course even the physical energy, the experience of space and time. Because that's what we are. We are consciousness experiencing this material world. We can think of it as the soul and the body. But the soul is really made up of spirit. We are a singularity of spirit, a limited potential of spirit, having a limited experience of this physical world through this body. So now let's go back a bit again. Let's start again. Consciousness, the whole universe is consciousness. It begins with this field of consciousness. But it's infinite potentiality. But there's nothing there. It's outside space and time. It's infinitesimal. It's infinite. So from this consciousness creates emotion. Emotion. So again, emotion is an aspect of consciousness, if you think about it. But this emotion creates a disturbance. Now consciousness is disturbed. A disturbance means the ether, which is rest, inertia, has been disturbed. There's a division created. We've created some energy. So emotion creates energy. Consciousness creates emotion. Emotion creates energy. Energy creates action. The material world. And the entire material world is created or formed by electromagnetism. Everything is electromagnetism. And you can look at this another way. The ether, consciousness, also creates matter directly. It creates electromagnetism. In other words, consciousness creates emotion, which creates intention, which creates focus, which creates a disturbance so powerful that now we've got electricity and magnetism. We have now created a disturbance of the ether, a disturbance of the force that is so powerful it has become objective. It has manifested. And that is static electricity and magnetism, electromagnetism. But one is static. That's like the creation of a potential energy. Then magnetism is dynamic. That's moving. That is the resultant movement of that potential. So you always have these two together, yin and yang, a static electricity or dielectricity and magnetism. You see, this model of the universe, you can think of it as esoteric knowledge, ancient yogic knowledge, shamanic knowledge, combined with science, but it's more like the old-fashioned ether science, the way they saw the universe before. So it's not quite the same as modern quantum physics. Now, of course, there's so much to this, and I'm trying to say a very big picture very simply. But I can now say this very simply: 3 worlds. You have one world is this physical world. The second world is the world of spirit, infinite. It is beyond space and time. And then the third world is the combination of those two, the interaction of consciousness with the material world. And there we have life. That is what life is. Life is the interaction of consciousness with the material world. I have created this body so that I can interact with objective reality. And there are different levels to this. You see, when you realize it is consciousness that creates emotion, that creates this body. Now it is consciousness that creates the idea of this body. See, consciousness is also thinking, thought. Thought is the manifestation of consciousness. Put it that way. Now, thought is also sort of psychophysical. It involves the brain. But thinking is still above the brain. There is an understanding, an awareness, a consciousness that is above the brain. But the brain is a tool, an instrument that helps us to integrate with the material world. It's an interface. It's also a receiver. It receives information. Information for I, the soul, the consciousness, the singularity of spirit. So now we can start to see what this etheric energy really is. You see, there's an energy in consciousness itself before it has actually become electromagnetism. So this etheric energy is the prequel to electromagnetism. And that is consciousness. So if I focus my consciousness, that is focusing and creating this etheric energy. But this etheric energy is also created by mathematics, geometry. You see, it's the prequel to manifest reality. And geometry is the prequel to material substances. For example, these crystals are now material, but the geometry, the formation of those atoms, exists in perfection in the world of mathematics. In the spirit world, that geometry exists first, then the crystal can exist. But remember, in order to have manifest reality, it must still follow certain rules. The rules of the golden ratio, the mathematics of growth. So let's look at it once more. Material world is this body. The spiritual world is pure consciousness, abstract. You can think of that as the dream. And then you've got the energy world. That's the world of the energy body, the astral plane, etheric energy. That's the world I can feel things. I can create another body in this world. I can separate from the physical body and travel. I can create an etheric body. So again, it's a prequel energy. And there's many layers between the physical world and the spiritual world. And again, you can look at it again in terms of the mind. The physical body is the waking mind, awareness. Then you have pure spirit. Pure spirit is the unconscious mind. That is the Zen meditation, the deep yogic meditation. You transcend beyond space and time. Then the third state of mind is the subconscious mind. That is the dreaming mind. So now you're experiencing a dream, a fantasy, imagination. And that is in the etheric world. That is a crossover. That's metaphysical, but still slightly physical. You're experiencing it in time and in space. You're experiencing geometry in a dream. Thinking is still taking up some time, but it's subjective. You don't know how long that time is. Time moves differently in the dream. It could be faster, it could be slower. So 3 states of mind connect to the 3 worlds, the 3 basic levels of the universe. So now we've got a basic map and understanding. And this Jedi training, this ether physics, is about trying to experience this. That's where the meditation comes in. You focus your energy, focus your mind to the center, the seat of your soul, which is here. But you have your belly, that's the seat of your body, the center of gravity, and you have your awareness here, the third eye, the seat of your consciousness. It's the yogis focus on that. So that is moving to abstraction, beyond the body, beyond space and time. But the etheric energy is this intermediate energy between the spirit and the body. It's real in that I can feel it. I can play with it. I can create things with it and send it away. I can feel messages. We have telepathy. And again, the ultimate is to build a second body. This body goes to sleep and I can travel off in another body, an etheric body or an astral body. Again, you can divide this into more levels, 7 levels, the 7 chakras. So this is an esoteric science, but it can be explained step by step with logic. And I'm trying to do this on this channel. Trying being the optimum word there. I can only try my best. But to me, it's very simple. It's holistic and it explains everything. Everything. All physical phenomena and all metaphysical phenomena can be explained with this model of the universe. The ether physics that I'm trying to explain. And I also call it Jedi training because we have to meditate, we have to think about it, we have to do a bit of exercise. Because if you can exercise, improve the alignment of your body, again, it's not difficult exercise, it's about awareness, improving your body posture. That's literally all you got to do. Improve your body posture, then the energy can flow better. You will feel the energy body more. You will feel the flow of energy. You have to feel it. It's experiential, subjective. When you can feel some energy moving, when you can close your eyes and feel your body, and eventually you'll be able to see it. Close your eyes, you can see inside the energy. You can see light inside. It's not physical light, metaphysical, it's still etheric. Again, this is unmanifest energy. You cannot detect this physically. It is purely consciousness, subjective, experiential. But with enough intensity, it can become electromagnetism. You see, I visualize the energy body, but now I bring it into the physical body. I feel electricity in my body, concentrate between my hands, increase the power, such that now I'm also having a dramatic physical experience. And I'm projecting that between my hands, and I think we ought to be able to measure a slight difference, either in the magnetic field or the voltage. Some disturbance, physically detectable disturbance, could be created. Again, very slight. The etheric energy is subtle. That's why the body is so complicated. You need the brain as an interface. You need energy in the body, the muscles, as an interface. You see, I don't have the force to do this. The force is in the body. It allows me to do this. You pick it up with your hand. That is the force. So, that is the secret. We train our body to train the energy body. To train the energy body means to train the consciousness. Consciousness means the soul. Your integration, your sense of self. And when you build that, you create an aura, an energy field. That is the etheric energy. You sense this. Then you can also extend to technology. Again, like Wilhelm Reich talking about orgone, all his little machines, similar to what I'm creating. Geometry for its own sake. But when you put it together with particular things, but even these crystals are selected, there's a balance to this. The secret is in the balance. It's the same in the body. The secret is in the balance. The balance comes from the posture. Improved posture gives you improved balance, improved energy flow, more etheric energy, more chi, more force. And that can translate into actual electricity. You know, such that you might get a little spark. But that's very advanced. Very, very advanced. So I hope this made sense. I hope this made sense. 3 worlds, but they're all still really one world. They all come from consciousness. Consciousness is the fundamental, the original. It's not the first because it's outside time. It's always here. It's eternal. There's no first moment. Consciousness creates a disturbance. There's no first disturbance. There's always a disturbance happening. Always there. The trick is to balance. Balance the disturbance all the time. It's dynamic. Balance in the meditation. It's always dynamic. There's no inner peace. It's balancing. You might capture it for a moment. Longer, but it's balancing. It's always dynamic. You're always moving out of balance. You have to refine the balance. The world is always moving. You have to find the eye of the storm, the middle point, where you can be at balance, at peace. So, I hope this made sense. Again, thank you so much for your time, for listening to me. Please do leave me any comments or questions below. And do check out my whole Jedi series and my Ether Physics. Just check out my homepage. I've got so many videos and they're all different. Just have a look through. There's bound to be something there that might interest you. So thank you so much again for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.